Do you remember that wonderful book, or perhaps the film, When the Wind Blows, the Raymond Briggs book, and the superb film, rather a miserable film, but beautifully made. So and it's really about that. That was a satire on the inadequacy of survival kits in the 1970s, and now we've got the same rubbish again. If you're reading the tabloid newspapers or watching GB News, I was going to say good morning, but in fact I should probably say good evening, and this is the end of days. This talk about survival kits, not the ones that actually help, but this national pastime of scaremongering and encouraging people to prepare for 72 hours blackout and a lot of bureaucracy. Is it to survive? Is it to survive a power cut, or simply to survive the headlines, to generate headlines? The advice, according to GB News and assorted tabloids, is simple: prepare for catastrophe. The Russians are coming. They're in the North Sea with their submarine Yantar, poised to pop our pipeline like a can of Coke. You'll need tinned beans, a torch, identity documents, lots of identity documents, a battery-powered radio, and presumably a damp flannel for comfort. Well, you could use Keir Starmer's soiled hanky. But here's my contribution to the national kit. I have a book. It's signed by the great animator Richard Williams, an animation legend who I met when I was 11 years old, and it's called The Animator's Survival Kit, and frankly, it's the most useful item that I own. If the power goes, then I can at least flip the pages and remember how to make a walk cycle. And, this real emergency, the real emergency is bureaucracy. 3 months ago, I was told by the haemophilia department in the NHS that that they were going to correct a mistaken diagnosis. I'm still waiting for that letter. And today a new email arrived, an appointment reminder for a consultation that 6 months ago we had agreed would take place on the telephone. It's time travel, but only if Kafka runs the TARDIS. It's absurd, it's tragic, and it's normal, and it's impossible to change. Even the number that they provide takes you through to a call centre, where the key issue is, oh, you're not available to come to the meeting. What's the reason for that? The reason for that is that it's not supposed to be a meeting. It's supposed to be a telephone consultation. If that, the survival kit, we're told, must include ID documents. In case of what? That you're asked to prove you're British as you flee into a Tesco Express during the blackout. Let me ask this. If the bureaucracy doesn't function now with the lights on, what good will it be with the power off? You'll show up with your NHS number written in biro on your forearm, only to be told that you no longer exist in a system. And would you mind filling in form CR37-B, which is the only available online and during office hours, and you've been temporarily suspended because of the emergency? The survival kit, I fear, is not protection from war, but from the relentless hysteria of the British press. They manufacture anxiety like Greggs produces sausage rolls, hot, cheap, and wrapped in flaky pastry. And when they say the Russians are mapping our cables, what they mean is we're running out of headlines. We used to have carry-on films. Now we've got carry-on prepping. 3 tins of beans, 1 wind-up torch, a photograph of the Queen, optional but emotionally stabilising, your gas bill, the soul of George Orwell, and somewhere near the bottom a Swiss Army knife that you'll never use because you don't know how to open it and your fingers are too cold. Meanwhile, real survival in Britain today is navigating systems that do not operate. GP surgeries with ring-back roulette, post office queues with Kafkaesque twists, and the Department for Work and Pensions, which increasingly sounds like a 1980s synth band and less like a functioning arm of state. And then there's the Home Office that cannot be accessed. We're asked to prepare for Russian sabotage, but we can't get a dentist appointment without crying into a keypad. The energy system is precarious, yes, but so is the benefit system, so is the care system, so are the trains. Raymond Briggs showed us in When the Wind Blows how the quaint stoicism of the British public is no match for the institutional collapse that is dressed up as order. We are once again being comforted with instructions, the illusion of preparation. But no amount of canned goods can replace governmental competence. So, What should you really pack? Well, not just beans and torches. Pack skepticism, pack clarity, pack humour, pack art, pack politics, pack a sense of outrage that doesn't wane after 2 weeks, and above all, pack the knowledge that real resilience isn't built with tinned food, but with systems that work, services that serve, and a press that doesn't profit from fear. Because if we don't demand better now, no survival kit in the world will save us when the real emergency actually comes.